board or DAT load board, essentially the DAT one product that they have, they're releasing information essentially saying that if you're a brand new dispatcher, you're going to have to get access to the DAT load board through the actual driver himself or owner operator himself or carrier, for example. So you would have to get a carrier that either has an account currently, or a carrier or an owner operator that doesn't have an account but needs to get an account in order for you as a new dispatcher to get access to the DAT load board. Otherwise, you cannot get access to the load board as a service, as a dispatch service. So this kind of puts a wrench into some people's plans, but it's going to be tough. Of course, we have to be realistic about this. It will be tough for you to, first off, your biggest issue will be finding your first carrier or your first driver, owner, operator who would be utilizing your services to dispatch them wherever that may be. So that's going to be your first hurdle. Your second hurdle is going to have to be to convince them or tell them or share with them information that in order for you to find loads for them, you will have to get access to that load board. As an example, if DAT is the load board you're going to use. So in this case, you would have to get the carrier or owner operator to make you as an end user or make you as a user on that specific account in order to actually get access to the load board and be able to book loads for these drivers, right? So yeah, this makes it a little bit more tough for people that want to get into dispatching that aren't currently in it. We'll see, time will tell if this is the right move by DAT to try to limit and mitigate fraud issues that we've seen in the industry. One go around through all of this essentially would be for you to get yourself a brokerage license. In terms of loopholes or legal loopholes, that's one of the ways you can do it. Other than that, right now, I can't really think of one right off the top of my head as to what else you can do that would be allowed by DAT to get access to it as a dispatch service, right? So, unfortunately, as I've stated, DAT is now requesting that as a dispatcher, you have to get a seat under an account that is registered to an MC number and a DOT number and authority, essentially, right? So in order for you to get that access, you will have to have that driver get access for you or on your behalf. Now, this is a little bit difficult, I personally think, because of the fact that dispatchers change all the time. Maybe you and your driver start to work together and you realize that maybe it isn't the right fit, whatever that reason is. Now you may be put between a rock and a hard place, right? Having to go and look for another driver who may then have to give you another seat because this other driver took you off your seat. So it really puts a dent into dispatch services in that perspective. It's something that you guys will have to work around. But like I said, the broker's license would be one way. Also, there's those new regulations in terms of how many MC numbers you can actually dispatch in order to do it without a license, that is without a brokerage license. Otherwise, you would kind of be acting in capacity of a broker, which would then mean you would anyways have to get a brokerage license. So there's a lot of hurdles to look and analyze through this. But just seeing people's reaction to this news is pretty warranted. I mean, I get it. One guy says this is kind of I'm using light terminology. Obviously, he said something else, but this is a weird policy. You need a DAT account to have a carrier, and you need a carrier to have a DAT account. Plus, in this specific market, he says, no carrier sticks to a single dispatcher all the time. Carriers change dispatchers all the time, and it would be very weird to have a past dispatcher have a seat on your specific account as a carrier. It's true. Yeah, that would be very weird. And a carrier would be constantly juggling. The owner operator would have to be removing, adding, editing his list of dispatch users underneath his name. And adding and removing old dispatchers while also trying to dispatch would be constantly difficult for the driver to go through that, in terms of this. Of course, you don't have to, you should not be considering all the time that dispatch, load boards is the way that you should go only. There's many other ways to get loads for your drivers in specific areas. But at the same time, in the beginning, load boards are a good initial starting tool to do that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, it sucks that this is happening right now, but you know, this is what's happening. Also, one guy says this DAT policy doesn't really make sense. It's not safe if the carrier passes the login details to someone else or gives them a seat. Maybe the better solution would be if the dispatcher provided details of their carriers and agreements, etc., and DAT would then verify it and allow the dispatcher to set up. That would be another potential way to look at this, right? Kind of like a verification step or a verification profile to be completed in order to allow the access to the load board instead of having the carrier or owner operator having to do all of this crazy work in that respect as well. So lots of stuff is happening right now. I'm not sure where it's all gonna go, but I guess we'll see at the end of it all, what happens really with this whole news. I don't know if this is gonna be something that's gonna stick for a long time. I'm not sure if this is something DAT will continue to do and even upgrade in some circumstances. But as of right now, as things stand, if you call DAT, they will tell you that you have to get a carrier to sign up or an owner operator sign up, and for that carrier or owner operator to put you underneath them as a user. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I don't know if this is something that's good for you or not. I'm gonna say right now, in the beginning, first-hand news, I don't think it's a good thing, primarily because it's going to be difficult for the carriers or owner operators that truly do need dispatch services to get them going in the beginning while they build their business out. Um, at the end of the day, it's pretty tough to focus on the road and focus on everything, including running your business, including finding the best loads, including having eyes on the load boards all the time. If someone's not in the office to get this done for you, it's makes it a little bit more difficult to get through this the right way, right? So let me know in the comments what you guys feel about this, but I don't know right now if it's the right fit for what companies may be looking for in this industry, because there's just too many regulations right now, and more that are coming out, making it more and more complex to run the business. Even up here, like, I know things are changing even on the safety side here in Canada, at least. In Ontario here, for example, the safety inspections are now a 7-hour process that's done digitally. You have to upload certifications, verifications, documentation that a safety inspection was done through a digital system. And you know, the mechanics are trying to learn these systems and get well acquainted and trained on these systems so they know how to properly submit information to the Ministry of Transportation, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's happening and changes in the industry. I guess we'll see where this all kind of takes us moving forward here.